Okay, welcome back to Dragon Ball Daima Anime Review, episode number 2, called Glorio. Yep, we pick up right where the last episode left off, and we finally see what the characters look like as children. Everybody, including Mr. Herc, including Mr. Satan. Though for some reason he's referred to as Hercule here, which actually is his dub name, despite his first name is like Mr. Satan. He's voiced by Corey J. Phillips. Mr. Popo, in the first episode, is voiced by Chris Carlson. I think it was his longtime dub actor. Yes, I believe he was. Actually, no. Originally it was Sabu who voiced him originally. And then for some reason with Super, they replaced him with Chris Carlson. Don't know the reason for it. They just did. Kibito was voiced by Chuck Herbert, which I think was for Kibito. That's the Chiron. That's Supreme Kai's bodyguard. Yeah. So Emily Lowe takes over for Dende after Justin Cook, who'd been not. Yeah, I think it was initially his voice actor. I'm looking for Dende. Well, the adult version of Dende. Apparently, Laura Bailey in the redub. Apparently, the original was Sale Daguillo, and Kai was Moxie White. I'm not sure why in the world they have got multiple voice actors. Excuse me. So, now, Vegeta's mini dub actor is Paul Castro Jr. I'll mention who basically Goku is because it's quite shocking. Boma. Initially, in the first episode, it's Monica Real. And for this episode, it's Taylor Murphy. I bet some people were really hoping maybe bring back the original dub actress, you know. Maybe like Tiffany Vollmer. Nope, we have a completely different dub actress. It's, bringing back an old one. Krillin, who... Okay, so for him, they actually did change him because he's generally always been voiced by Simon Surratt in the entirety of the Funimation dub for him. Yeah, he's voiced him for a long... Even when he became an adult. Sonny Surratt has been mostly put the main dub actor for him. You're like, really? Yeah, really. That's mostly put exactly what it is. Actually, no. So Sonny Surratt was the adult one. Okay, but he's the most noteworthy one. Laurie Steele was his dub actress. Mm-hmm. And they didn't make that one. Nope. We bring in Laura Whitehall, basically, to voice him. Trunks, who's produced a baby, was voiced the first episode, accepted. I did hear the reason why they replaced Kid Trunks' dub actor. Because his original one, this, of course, was Kid Trunks, mind you. And initially he was initially voiced by... Let's see. It was Laura I think it was Laura Bailey initially. Yeah, because I did hear something apparently that the reason why, and this is according to, I did ask her about this. Why did Kid Trunks' voice actor replaced? Because she switched to play video games. That's the reason I've heard. Majin Buu in the first episode was voiced by Josh Martin, and with the second episode, voiced by Destiny Furley. But, okay, let's talk about Goku's kid dub actor. For the first time since 2003, it is his original one, Stephanie Nolde. Yes, they brought her back for this. Because for some reason they replaced her for the Kid Goku stuff and later stuff with Colleen Clickenbeard. Nothing against Clickenbeard, great voice actors. Why did they do this for? There is a very infamous story involving her and Christopher Sabat. according to the story, I heard about this years ago. The story goes, okay, the story is that it was a casting couch situation. That's what I've heard of it as. Basically, the story goes is that Sabbath offered her to sleep with him in exchange for boosting her career. She said no, and she got fired from Funimation for it. That's a story I've heard I heard about this story years ago. I have no idea if it's true. I never spoke to Sab about it because I didn't think it was good to bring up to him, because I don't think he would comment on something that may not be true, like especially if it's about him. Like, you don't think it was characters? Fine. Don't. I would recommend if you meet any voice actor, just don't ask him about controversial stuff per se. Now, that's what I would recommend. Like, for example, when I met Monica Real, did I mention anything to her about Vic Magnolia? Nope, nothing, absolutely nothing. I never mentioned to her anything about either Magnolia or the acting sexual harassment. Never mentioned to her, because I figured though, and here's the reason why I never brought it up to her, because it was in the past. And I don't think it would be a good idea to bring up the past for some people. I think it's just good to talk about basically what's in front of them, talk about the characters. That's how I see it. I haven't seen her in a few years, so I'm going to see her again next month when I go to make Orlando. Actually, just two weeks now. Yes, so yeah, it's great to hear her voice again. Technically, the last show she had as Kid Goku was GT. Yep, it was Dragon Ball GT. She has the other stuff, but the only thing I've seen her outside of the Dragon Ball franchise, when she's not voicing Goku, excuse me, was actually in the dub for Case Closed. Yes. I heard her in that one. She was also in the dub for Yu Hakusho as some other characters they have in the show. Aside from that, I haven't heard anything at all. Tell me, I've been thinking, wait a minute, what about her stuff she did for Battle of Gods and Superhero? Archive footage. It was archive audio. Yeah, she never actually physically did any voiceover work for this movie. Not really. As for why this had to be like this, why in the world couldn't she come back to play Kid Goku or doing flashback stuff? Honestly, I don't have any answer for that per se. Yeah, I do not have an answer, so yeah, no answer for that. As for why they use archive footage, I don't really know. Honestly, I kind of wish basically that somebody, yeah. Of course, I did find out that she is going to be at main Carolina too. So, what a transmitter? I don't know. It's maybe in that part, because I was surprised they even invited her. But my guess is probably the reason they've been invited, because she was just brought back to do Dragon Ball Daima. Maybe. Yeah. So the story of this episode is because they gotta figure out what the heck is going on. So Goku, I think it's Goku, Piccolo, Supreme Kai, and Kibito transport to Kami's Lookout. Actually, it's Denne's Lookout, but technically it's referred as Kami's Lookout. As Mr. Popo, as a little kid, he of course explains what's going on, and of course explain about the guy who basically looks like Supreme Kai, who actually is his brother. That's where Goku finds out it's his brother. And of course they later on find out about this. So then of course they have to go to Demon World. They can't exactly teleport there. They have to go there for your spaceship. And they bring in a spaceship that, well, when Kibito brings it, apparently was damaged. Here's the thing: they revealed that apparently they try to turn it on as they go there, but it's damaged. Yeah, they apparently revealed the reason why it's damaged because of Goku's fight with Majin Buu on the world of the Kais. I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense, given the fact that this was not long after that. So, makes sense there. So, and by the way, when I first saw the spaceship, I'm like, wait a minute, this exterior looks very familiar. And you're thinking, how does this exterior look familiar to you, you might ask? Because it looks like Piccolo's spaceship. Yes, seriously. I saw this thing like, wait, this looks like Piccolo's spaceship. I'm sure that Toei probably took inspiration from Piccolo's spaceship, which, by the way, no one has seen this damn spaceship since just Dragon Ball Z. I think the last time it was actually seen, I could think of, was probably, I'm guessing at this, when it was left on Namek, when the original planet Namek, when it was destroyed. I'm guessing when it comes to that. So, so basically, Bulma was brought up. Of course, Big D comes with her, obviously, because it's her husband. And of course, he's curious. He basically wants to get back to his normal height as quickly as possible, so he's not stuck as a child. Oh, and Bulma referred to Kid Vegeta as cute. Yes, seriously, she referred to her own husband as cute. So she looks around, basically the spaceship, looks around, this is an interesting model. She fix it. Could take about 10 days. And then, of course, they have food. And, of course, then we have, get this, so Goku goes to get the power pole. Yep. The object that's not been seen since Dragon Ball. You're like, what? Well, first off, you kind of see it, if you see the animation really closely in Dragon Ball Z, you kind of see a red line between Kami's lookout and Korin's his basically his palace that he has, this little room area. No mention of Yajirobe here, and also the fact that he's a friend of Goku's. He didn't change with the wish, which I'm like, that's interesting. Because the people feed Wu and his friends turned the kids. But yet Korin didn't look like he was affected. No, he looks virtually the same. So I mentioned, okay, so where's the power pole? So like, I gave Master Roshi. So Goku proceeds, but he relearned how to fly. Of course, he had trouble learning how to kick. So he flies to the Roshi's place. And Roshi's like, that's something when I was young. So then apparently it's found out that what he did with the power pole, he used to dry his laundry with it. So then Bulma's like, oh cool, the power pole. She remembers it because Goku had it in the entirety of the original Dragon Ball series. He had it up until the last arc. He basically stopped using it with the penultimate arc of the series. It was just after defeated King Piccolo that he stopped using this. And he never used it. Of course, there's a mention here also, you can still use Nimbus Cloud. It's like, nah, I'll be fine. Yeah, Nimbus Cloud. Something Goku has not used since the Raditz Saga. Yes. Though Gohan has used it when he went to high school. By the way, Gohan is not in this episode. Yes. So, and then we have, like, okay, they have food, of course, to eat for a while, and then, of course, then they get a visitor. Which you first saw this guy in the previous episode, but he didn't speak. But now we hear him speak. His name is Glorio. And he's voiced by Aaron Delsmook. I'm like, okay, interesting. You're thinking, Aaron Delsmook has been series I've seen. Oh yeah, definitely. He's been Fairy Tail, Yu Hakusho from August Brotherhood, Soul You're Not, Tokyo Ghoul, Dragon Academy, Black Clover, High School DxD, Overlord, My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball Super, Asakusa, a Rogue Hero, Another World by Smartphone, Dr. Stone, he's voiced Asuka, Sakura, Undying Love, Kaguya Love is War, and Dragon Ball Daima. And I believe this is the 17th series. So apparently he's from the Demon World. Of course, they explain the whole thing is that the Namekians are originally from Demon World. Well, because of the ears. And plus, also, people expect he was demon anyways, so I guess this feels like a retcon. The whole thing, the mechanics are from Demon World. Also, the whole mention of Universe 7, because even though this is set after the events of Boo, I would say, like I said, like, not long after, I'd say, like, a couple days, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then this happens. Because Super picks up 1 month later. Yep, 1 month later. It's not like 10 years later, per se. No. Well, I think it was 1 month later, because I remember seeing the description for this one. Let me take a look and see. Let me just verify here. No. Oh, it's actually 4 years. Okay. So, interesting. So, this actually is set for, it's because it was 4 years. Okay, so you could definitely set it between those two series, which would be fine. But here's the thing, does it ignore Dimension Super? No, because one thing they mentioned in verse 7 by name in the previous episode, so that technically means that Super is still canon. So, and of course, basically, Glorio's hired. Of course, they mention the whole thing about the current Demon King, of who he is. Because this is when Goku finds out who the heck this guy is, and of course, they have to take him on. And they also mentioned the Vea in the episode, which of course Piccolo immediately recognizes his name because he's a man of legend. That's how they know about the guy. And the fact that he actually stayed behind while all the rest of the Mechanics escaped. I'm like, okay. I like there's a lot of character development for this stuff, and like of the 3 people we're basically introduced here, like Supreme Kai obviously knew about the second one because it's his brother. He did not know about the Namekian, but Piccolo did. Okay, interesting. As for the demon, well, I think that Supreme Kai may know about him, so Supreme Kai and Goku go in Gloria's ship to go meet him, while Vegeta has to stay there until Bulma finishes repairs on Supreme Kai's ship. Which is going to be interesting because Bulma's obviously going to go with him thanks to the Obitao sequence. We're going to introduce to more characters over the course of the series, and this is going to be really interesting to watch. And, well, that's pretty much it here. Enjoy the series so far. I was hearing something that apparently released a dub on Hulu, and I checked it. There is no dub on Hulu. Netflix does not have the dub either, just Crunchyroll. At least what I could tell anyways. So, yeah, they only have their sub, they don't have dub. So, 2 episodes down, and as of currently, because I heard something, this is going to be 20 episodes, so we have presumably about 18 left. So this is going to be around for a while. The question is, you might be asking, okay, so when did this series air? Like, when was the episode released? Well, it's a Friday anime. I'm like, okay, interesting. Like, if it's Friday, then that means that basically we have a show on Friday now. Okay, fine. As for I review it, I'm probably going to review it like for the next day. Probably. Yep. But not much to say about this episode. And with this also, I'm caught up with Dragon Ball Daima. Yep, caught up. So, I like next one will come right away. It will come when I finish this current light novel. It might come tomorrow. I mean, technically, in a way, I started 3 brand new anime in just a span of 2 days. And I just went on a break from my Sentai I'm watching. Like, not that long ago. In case you're curious. How long ago was it? It was just yesterday. I just finished it up. Was it yesterday? No. It was 2 days ago. Yeah, so pretty much in just 2 days, I have pretty much already covered, at least started, 3 brand new anime. And they're already on my review schedule. Next definitely will too. But you might be curious, is it going to be a bench watching I'm going to do? Yes. Me. Now you also might be asking, like, are you gonna be doing some Doctor Who? Yes. Starting with the last 2 episodes, we'll remind in a second. Alright, so that's pretty much your particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do this like button. Wow, Nick, your review is almost the same length as basically the episode. I love talking about this one. Okay? That's real. Bye.